I'm not getting anything up here. So it looks like everything's fine. It looks like everything's fine with this. Whatever this setting is, it's good. Oh, come on. I don't understand what I'm doing. I don't know what this is. I don't know what the situation is with this. It's getting infuriating. Well, I guess I'll just do it like this. Hello and welcome to the Pluribus Unum's Fireside Chats. Not as good as FDR's, but hey, it's something. We're gonna be going over all the other stuff that is supposed to be that we were supposed to do a while ago, but now we can actually accomplish this. Not enthusiastic at this moment, because I literally don't know what the fuck this is. Anyways, Donald Trump arrives in Singapore for a historic summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong Un. My thoughts are, well, I mean, it's a good thing that the U.S. and North Korea are going to at least attempt to make amends and get along. Because this is a good thing. It's actually like a great thing. I wish other U.S. presidents were able to do that. But I mean, I guess this is like a one surprise that he could have done. It's like, well, I mean, I guess he's gonna throw everybody some bone. I actually don't understand what the stream health is, because I'm actually looking at it on my, looking at it on my phone, and everything appears to be fine. Nothing seems to be in the ray, so I just kept flipping back and forth for nothing. Anybody in the chat see doing anything that would make me question that it's that good? Well, nobody seems to be. I mean, it says there are more than one person watching, but So anyways, that's it with the Donald Trump news. Now let's move on to this one. Bernie Sanders' refusal to endorse his own son for Congress is getting extremely weird. There are many things Bernie Sanders might like to talk about: Medicare for all, millionaires and billionaires screwing over poor people, his basketball prowess, but do not ask him to endorse his own son's campaign for Congress. If you do, things will get really strange really fast. Here's the deal. Levi Sanders, who once got extraordinarily mad online over yogurt, is running to represent New Hampshire's 1st congressional district in the House of Representatives. It is the sort of thing that you would think an avuncular curmudgeon... What? Instead, Sanders has poignantly and repeatedly refused to endorse his own flesh and blood, insisting that he opposed dynastic politics. Now, I mean, I understand where people are coming from when they are like, I'm against dynastic politics. I mean, look at the last time dynastic politics was in charge of America. We had the Bushes. So it's not exactly a good particularly, like, dynastic politics is a bad thing, especially when it's kind of like shown that they may have rigged the system in order to get to the place of power. But it's like, Bernie Sanders is actually, like, this would be this kind of leads into another problem that I have, is congressmen and other politicians refusing to endorse other candidates. Like, on my endorsements list on my website, which is up there on the screen for a thing that is going to come up later in the show, Sanders has shown he's not going to endorse a lot of candidates that are on my list. But, well, I mean, people are like, come on, at least endorse your son. Like, one thing I kind of don't get is when other people are like, I want more progressive politicians in Congress, and then they're like, well, what about Levi Sanders? Are you gonna endorse him? And he's like, nah, no. Like, I'm not calling anybody out. A progressive voice. So Levi, like, I mean, I support Levi Sanders. I think he's great. I like his platform. Like father, like son. You know, that old saying goes. Now, this one is going to be a particularly sad story for Mr. B, which I kind of broke to him. Challenges to Attorney General candidacy of Vermin Supreme upheld. Name removed from ballot. Kansas Attorney General Derek Schmidt will not have opposition in the primary for that office at all. Prospective candidate Vermin Supreme was denied ballot access on Monday by the State Objections Board on the grounds that Supreme is not from Kansas. A court decision handed down from recently that confirmed that the candidates of the governor have been from Kansas was instrumental in Monday's decision, according to Kansas Secretary of State Chris Kobach. Now, I'm actually kind of mad about it because, well, I mean, I like Vermin Supreme, so, especially considering this was a small race that he actually probably could have won. It's an interesting, like, I mean, it's a great idea for him to run for the office, but the court decision was, like, it was and Vermin Supreme, as always, made a stink about this. He has on Twitter and on Facebook, and which I follow him on, he actually said that he wants to require a lawyer in Kansas to actually allow him to win, like, not like allow him to at least be on the ballot. Vermin Supreme should have just went on to the Libertarian Party and would have been like, hey, Libertarian Party of Kansas, can I run for your candidacy? And they're like, well, we got nothing else to lose. I mean, we're not winning any presidential elections anytime soon. Sorry to all the libertarians in the audience. Well, this is what the Libertarian Party gets for not shouting out my video, Nicholas Sarwark. You piece of human garbage. You denied Ron Paul the chance to appear in the Libertarian Party National Convention. Well, I mean, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, it was explained in my Libertarian Party video, link somewhere. I sent him the link to my video. I thought he was gonna shout it out or something, but no, he just nah. Now this one's actually gonna be the more this is gonna be the more interesting. This is the most interesting story here. Radical plan to split California into 3 states earns a spot on November ballot. California's 116-year-old run as a single entity, hugging the continent's edge for hundreds of miles, and sprawling east around mountains and deserts, could come to an end next year, as a controversial plan to split the Golden State into 3 new jurisdictions qualified Tuesday for the November 6th ballot. Now this is the plan. Actually, this is a real last change. I should have done this before. I'm changing the party that we're gonna learn about today with this party. But back to this. This shows you how intensive I wanted to do this episode. I actually drew up a picture. I mean, I didn't draw it. I took the electoral map from the 2016 election and divided them up by the state lines. So, as you can see, I divided it up by the state lines. I divided it up by how the states would be like. And as you can see, I actually showed how this could affect the Electoral College, as this one ends up being a toss-up. Like this part of the Northern California, as they want to propose, ends up being a toss-up due to the fact that the amount of counties that won the Republicans, one had 20, and the ones that the Democrats won had 20 as well. The other two aren't toss-ups. It's 10 Dem, 7 Dem versus 5 GOP. As you can see, this state is going to be the hard one if this plan actually does get into effect. This is a really radical plan, personally. It's a strange idea. Why do this now? This is a really strange idea in the grand scheme of things. I keep looking back. I keep looking back at the stream just to see, did the stream health change? Again, I don't see the particular problem with the YouTube streaming service. Now, the party we're going to learn about today is the California National Party. The California National Party is a political party in the state of California. It is currently chaired by Theo Slater, an attorney. The party's primary goal is achieving California's independence from the United States from America. So, as you can see, it actually is a national party. It wants to, its plan is literally to remove California from the United States. Other than that, it has a platform of, progressivism, democratic socialism, environmentalism, and is a left-wing political party. its symbol is clearly the California bear. Hold on. On the bottom of this Wikipedia page, a new country. I'm surprised they haven't run a candidate for the governorship or senator, or hasn't run any candidates for governor or senate in California. They've only have one for San Diego County Supervisor, and it only has these two. It's a strange it's really strange in the grand scheme of things. Anyways, I expected to talk more about those stories, so I guess I'll done. Come on. You know, if anyone's actually watching this, you should probably talk in the chat, bro. I hate when it does that. I think I scrolled past that. Ah, here we go. So, kind of going on the whole endorsement thing. Recently, Ro Khanna, a progressive Democrat that I like, recently endorsed Joe Crowley for Senate, saying Joe is the type of progressive leader that we need in Congress, fighting for the working Americans. I've been proud to work with him alongside advocating for more criminal justice system, decriminalization of marijuana, and programs that bring new opportunities to all. He even tagged Ro Khanna himself. Now, Secular Talk said, "This breaks my heart. Crowley is the epitome of a corporatist." And of course, many people, including Mark Whitmire, another candidate I've endorsed, everybody's been pretty much calling Ro Khanna out, like, dude, why you endorsing a corporate dem? And they, what's this? But I was actually one of the very few people that were like, this is my first response. I don't know why you're surprised. Ro Khanna has endorsed Kevin De Leon over Allison Hartson, David Hildebrand, or Pat Harris. Khanna, when faced with a corporate progressive, well, I use this term in a really strange way, corporate progressive, that has a higher chance of winning compared to a smaller actual progressive, he'll endorse the one that's more likely to win. Number of people have called me out, like, saying, like, yo, what do you mean corporate progressive? I'm like, well, I mean, it's a corporate faux progressive, or like a progressive leaning corporatist, like, basically, I was saying, it's more of a, I meant, he's kind of like, I mean, I'm not even, like, one to talk, because I actually endorsed Kevin De Leon. So, yeah, there's that. Now, before we get into, I wanted to get into this, I guess I'll go into this first. Recently, recently there was a candidate that I'm actually going to also go over this guy, Darcy Richardson. This is a guy who's kind of had a progressive history, but there was a thing, he's currently running for, as you can see, he's currently running for governor of Florida. His campaign website's coming soon, don't worry. So I wanted to put him on my endorsement page, you know, where I endorse candidates such as Andrew Yang, Bernie Sanders, Manning, De Leon, Ro Khanna, Alan Grayson, Oh, before I actually explain, I want to actually introduce some new people who have been put their face on here. Randy Bryce, Chris Wright, and I put more progressive organizations in this part. But there was one small problem with me trying to endorse Darcy Richardson. As you can see, he is currently running under the centrist-oriented Reform Party. So I actually sent him an email. I'm not gonna... So I was basically like, hey, Darcy, you don't know me, but I'm running a YouTube channel about politics, which can be found here. I've been known for endorsing progressive candidates all across the U.S., and there's a possibility of me endorsing you due to your progressive past of endorsing Eugene McCarthy, Ralph Nader, Roseanne Barr, But I was checking your pages and showing that you were running under the centrist Reform Party and are supporting centrist organizations. So my question to you is, are you still a progressive under your 2012 platform? And, well, Darcy responded by... Darcy was actually one of the... Because I have actually tried to contact a couple of other candidates for public office, or other politicians, or political YouTubers, or whatever, and for interviews or something, maybe just to even just clarify a platform. And Darcy Richardson was the only person who have responded saying, "Hi, thank you for reaching out to me. Dating back to my involvement with the late Eugene McCarthy independent bid for the presidency in 1976, and my long association with the left-wing Consumer Party of Pennsylvania in the years following that, I've always considered myself a moderate left or progressive individual. As such, I have briefly toyed with the idea of mounting a campaign for the U.S. Senate this year on a platform of advocating a universal basic income, but the very real prospect of a draconian Rick Scott helping the GOP maintain control over the Senate was more than I could bear. In the end, the gubernatorial race made much more sense, particularly given the relative dismal choices being offered by the both major parties. Thanks again for getting in touch, but best of luck with your YouTube channel." Oh, that's sweet. Then I responded to him by saying, "Hi, Darcy. Thanks for responding, and thanks for the response and the support. I've emailed many candidates asking for their clarifications of their platforms, and you are the only one who has taken the time to respond. It's good to see a progressive candidate like Ralph Nader, Bernie Sanders, and Eugene McCarthy out there fighting for when nobody else is, like when you ran as a progressive alternative to Barack Obama in 2012. You'll be happy to know that due to your aforementioned progressive history and the clarification from your email, I'm happy to endorse your candidacy for Florida governor, and will happily support you in any future endeavors. Hope to hear from you in the future. Profound, and thanks for your kind endorsement. Needless to say, I'm deeply honored and humbled to be in a galaxy with such outstanding candidates, the kind of principled, forward-thinking men and women in this country so richly deserves. Thank you again, and keep the faith. Better days are ahead. With warmest wishes, Darcy." Now, I actually asked him, like, would it be fine if I showed the emails, and would it be possible that you would consider doing an interview for my channel? And he was like, yes to both of your questions, and, well, we're gonna work more details in that in the future, so expect more on that front. So we are going to be, so yeah, as you can see, there is so yeah. Now today, I guess at this point we can get into the Q&A portion. So, first question we're actually going to go into is the last question on this thing, from Brock McGinnis. Shout out to him. What made you want to do this channel? Now, what made me want to do this channel is basically I was really interested in, like, politics, as you can tell, and surprisingly, nobody really was doing a channel like this, aside from, you know, Mr. Beat, who, like, there was no one aside from really Mr. Beat and a couple of, like, very smaller ones that were talking about politics like this. Not particularly a, like, not in an amazing atheist, like, yo, my political view is correct and yours is wrong. I wanted to present a more objective view of every political ideology. So, yeah, I guess. Oh, yeah, and, ooh, I just thought of a thing that we can do for funs and giggles. Probably gonna have to do this after the questions, because there's a reason why he in particular said this channel, and I'll get to that in a bit. Andrew Bull says, will you be doing a pros and cons on every political viewpoint, both popular and non? Now, again, that's kind of not particularly the point of I try to mostly do, like, objective looks at political ideology so that you could actually get into the things, like basically my channel, even though I have a social democratic center-left bias on a lot of issues, this channel is made with the idea that if you were a far left socialist, if you were a socialist, or if you were a far right conservative, or even if you're a white supremacist, you can watch my videos and just get objective looks on the political spectrum. So, I guess that's that for that question. School, actually, because school, I never really cared for school. I mean, I did care for school. There are very few subjects that I truly were like, yes, I like that subject in school. The first subject that I was actually, like, really interested in school was actually science. Now, I know science is like, wait, hold on, science? Wouldn't it be more history? No, that was later, my friends. So, science and history were, like, my top subjects in school, the ones that I liked and the ones that I got good grades in. And the thing actually is, like with history, people don't care for history that much. But if you actually look back in history, it's really interesting, because there were, like, these are things that happened. These are dramatic things that have happened. Like, an individual literally, like, there's an individual who actually, when they became blind, they were a blind socialist individual. It's a reference to Helen Keller, which is a reference to a video I'm working on. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. So, the politics are rather, so, like, and then came the 2016 election, when my political, like, upbringing kind of exploded. Hold on. I'll get back to your question in a minute, Mr. Beat, because as of right now, I'm kind of, I shouldn't have drank that water before this podcast, but because now I have to use the bathroom, I will be right back. And we're back. Sorry for that intrusion. You can't expect me to not drink to stay hydrated. So anyways, back to what I was saying before. The 2016 election, where my political yahoos have kind of made its way into my brain. I started, I was interested because, believe it or not, I actually, this is actually show you how politically unaware I was until 2016. I had absolutely no idea until 2016. For a short while, I was in support of Hillary Clinton. Ooh, because I didn't know there was a primary season. But then when I discovered there was a primary season, that there were other Democratic candidates, I slowly drifted to Bernie Sanders. So, then eventually, I got to it went to the primary season. The primary season basically cemented, okay, the Democratic Party is corrupt, I gotta get out of there, blah, blah, blah. Then I was basically like, hey, who are the other political parties? I don't know anything about them. Because eventually Gary Johnson and Jill Stein were added on the Wikipedia page. And then after a while, Darrell Castle and Evan McMullen were added on the page as well. So basically the thing was I decided to learn, instead of just learning who are these individual people, I had to learn what this party stood for, because these are parties that nobody knew, because everybody had the whole idea of Democrats equal left, Republicans equal right. So they decided, basically we had to find out where these political parties were on the spectrum. This is basically the thing is, sorry if I'm stumbling on my words. While I'm thinking, I might as well pull up 2070 to win, because I think I might need that in a bit. So basically, I went to Wikipedia, learned what the Green Party and Libertarian Party stood for, and I'm like, oh, I stand for this party. These guys are the OG, the Libertarian Party being the OG, especially for gay marriage, because it's there are very few parties that even stood for that. The only parties I could think of before that stood for gay marriage was the People's Party with Benjamin Spock. It's really interesting. and that's kind of where I like to read my point. It's basically just I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn what these parties stood for so I could see if I could become a more informed voter. So yeah, I'm gonna open it up to anybody who's watching this. While I'm doing that, I'm gonna go on a bit of a rant on the whole Bernie would have won. So this is the electoral map. You got that? These are the 3 states that were the problem states. No, that's not what I meant. These were the 3 problem states. As you can see, as you remember, they shifted red, which led to Donald Trump's win. So, many people don't realize that Wisconsin and Michigan, Bernie won the primary in these 2 states. So let's say, since Bernie won the primary, he would also win them in the Electoral College. And now let's say, and he barely lost Pennsylvania. So let's say if he barely lost Pennsylvania, let's say this state also went to Bernie. As you can see, it's a bit of the political what-if game. But, I mean, there's not much else of a, there's nothing else to do. Hold on, did I send out the right link for Twitter? The right thing. I guess maybe since I didn't tag anybody. What a riveting episode. Dang it. Who's that person that just became a fan of mine? Again, what a riveting episode. I'd play a song I'd play the Mr. Beat song, like an LBJ, like the Hey Hey LBJ song, but wait, why didn't I? Oh, I should have done that for the freaking break. Well, can't change the past. You can. I'm just gonna check if they can.
Johnson had a button nose when first he went to Congress. Now it's long and crooked like a politician's promise.
Oh, so you can't hear it. I know you can't hear it right now, but I was listening to it on my secondary device, so I could check if. Yeah, I should have just freaking played a song during the commercial. Like, well, I guess there's no point in not playing it.
Hey, hey, LBJ, how many kids did you kill today? We're gonna take your toys away and bring our soldiers home now. LBJ tries every way to make our country prosperous. He fights rural poverty with CBUs and phosphorus. Hey, hey, LBJ, how many kids did you kill today? We're gonna take your toys away and bring our soldiers home now. LBJ wants black folks too to do some extra dyeing, so he calls on Uncle Roy to keep the colors flying. Hey, hey, LBJ, how many kids did you kill today? We're gonna take your toys away and bring our soldiers home now. LBJ works night and day, each target's his decision. He bombs friendly villagers with surgical precision. Hey, hey, LBJ, how many kids did you kill today? We're gonna take your toys away and bring our soldiers home now. LBJ had tea today with Ruther, Morse, and Meany. Strikes to break and bribes to take to grease the war machinery. Hey, hey, LBJ, how many kids did you kill today? We're gonna take your toys away and bring our soldiers home now. LBJ goes all the way with Dow, GM, and Boeing. Hell no, we won't go where LBJ is going. Hey, hey, LBJ, how many kids did you kill today? We're gonna take your toys away and bring our soldiers home now.
That completely unedited song. I hope I don't get. Of course, I'm not gonna get taken down. It's the Vietnam Song Project. At least I hope I'm not gonna get this video taken down. Like, the advantage of these songs is that these people, they either don't care about the copyright, or like they're so like some of these people are just fear on socialists. Well, I guess since no one else will ask a question, since like literally only 2 people are watching, I guess I'll do what the main topic of this video is, doing the I side with test. Hold on. Kind of. can't decide if I want to put on like a solidarity. It's like solidarity forever in like the background or something. Now, the live stream, it's like there are people who actually were watching the stream. I would ask them like if they want for me to do the full quiz or to do the just look, my viewership went down. Again, this is kind of a train wreck of an episode. As you can see, I'm just kind of doing this. I just do this a lot. What are you looking at? 4 eyes? Nah, I'm just kidding. Like this girl, she's cool. So anyways, I guess I'm just going to do the full quiz. Should the president be able to authorize military force against Al-Qaeda without congressional approval? Obviously not. How important is this to you? I guess more. Should the U.S. assassinate suspected terrorists in foreign countries? No. What is your stance on abortion? Pro-life or pro-choice? Pro-choice. Should the government continue to fund Planned Parenthood? I'd say yeah. Should gay couples have the same adoption rights as straight couples? Yes. Should a business be able to deny service to a customer if the request conflicts with the owner's religious beliefs? Nope. Do you support the legalization of same-sex marriage? No, the Bible says no. Obviously. Should the military allow women to serve in combat roles? Absolutely. Should health insurance providers be required to offer free birth control? Yep. If this part of the video is a bit more quiet, it's because I've taken this test like 1,000,000 times. I'm taking this test like 1,000,000 times, so it's pretty much like this is pretty much simple for me. Should gender identity be added to anti-discrimination laws? Yes. Do you support the death penalty? Yes, but only for horrific crimes with undeniable evidence. Like for example, Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris. They did a really bad thing. Should they have been sent to jail, or should they have been killed? I don't know particularly in that case. So anyways, this is in particularly just this particular case. Should businesses be required to have women serve on their board of directors? No. Hold on, I think another stance would be more suited for me. No board members should be the most qualified regardless of gender. Yeah. This is kind of a non-important issue. Should marital rape be classified and punished as severely as non-marital rape? No duh. Should universities provide trigger warnings and safe spaces for students? This one I'm actually going to add my own stance, because yes, seems like, oh, you're just a triggered SJW. And if I say no, it's like, oh, you're just the alt-right Heil Hitler kind of guy. But this one is just kind of a simple one. Ta-da! This one seems very simple. If the individual university wants to institute a safe space or put trigger warnings, sure. And I mean, I guess it should be more open for private universities. Probably not a better, or maybe a public one. You decide in the comment section below. Should terminally ill patients be allowed to end their lives via assisted suicide? Yep. No explanation? Oh, well, I mean, I guess I'll give you some explanation. I mean, if you're going to die, it's literally the same thing as, it's like, if you're going to die anyways, what's the point? Should the government support separation of church and state by removing references to God and money, federal buildings, and national monuments? Absolutely. I'm not that particularly, It's like I've always brought this up before. If you like, it's like, if you were a Christian in a nation where it's like, in Allah we trust on their money, it's like, no, you wouldn't. Should the states be allowed to display the Confederate flag on government property? No, it should be put in a museum where it was originally flown. Yeah, that just seems logical. Well, I guess the stream is over. I gotta go do something.